Today on Investigate TV Plus, being present.
Ensure that I can cover the cost of the hotel, ensure that I can cover the 3 meals for today.
As more parents struggle to make ends meet, their children fall behind in school.
Out of the school year, I believe they attended maybe 3 months.
We take an in-depth look at chronic absenteeism, why educators say it's a symptom of a larger problem, and a solution helping kids return to the classroom. Plus, stopping the spread.
We follow patients from the time they find out they're pregnant until 1 year after birth.
Pregnant women living with HIV carry the extra burden of likely passing the deadly virus on to their unborn child. We examine a program reducing the risk of transmission and show how it's improving outcomes for mothers and their newborns.
Then, dancing past the pain.
Do most of the residents here know your story?
No.
They're going to be a little surprised.
I guess so.
Why her childhood will inspire you to never give up hope.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. Without an education, your children can never really meet the challenges they will face. But right now, many of the nation's young people are simply struggling to learn.
The assessment test known as the nation's report card found in 2024 that kids in grades 4 and 8 continued to lose ground on reading skills, and they've made little improvement in math in the years since the pandemic. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Education experts say the continued decline in scores is associated with chronic student absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism is when a child misses at least 10% of instructional days, regardless of whether it's excused or unexcused. During the 2023-2024 school year, about 1 in 10 districts reported chronic absenteeism levels of 30% or more, and another 2 in 10 districts reported rates between 20% and 30%.
Our investigation found chronic absenteeism is often a symptom of a larger issue, having a stable home. Reporter Sierra Cummings takes an in-depth look at how the affordable housing crisis affects a child's education and how a district near Atlanta is addressing it.
The motel off Powers Ferry Place was home for Jasmine Burse and her 4 kids.
A room that has 1 bed, so I have to decide if my kids are gonna sleep in the bed or if I'm gonna sleep in the bed.
She did her best
I cried a lot.
to make ends meet after moving to Atlanta 3 years ago.
My thoughts were ensure that I can cover the cost of the hotel, ensure that I can cover the 3 meals for today, and ensure that I can cover the gas because my source of income at that time was driving for Lyft.
As her focus shifted to food and daily motel costs, school became less of a priority.
Out of the school year, I believe they attended maybe 3 months out of the entire school year.
3 months?
Yes, out of the entire school year.
Her kids are enrolled in the Atlanta public school system, where 19,000 students were chronically absent in 2023, missing more than 15 days. Although the problem is far from new, education experts warn chronic absenteeism post-pandemic is exacerbated by an affordable housing crisis, like here in Georgia, where a minimum wage worker would need to work as many as 3.5 full-time jobs just to afford fair market rent. Jasmine could not afford an apartment, meaning her kids were a part of the nearly 1,900 APS students needing homes. Federal research released this year revealed children with an experience of homelessness from low-income families show worse academic and social engagement problems.
What do you need help with?
Jasmine says she knows it firsthand. Her oldest kids were no longer on the honor roll. Her youngest elementary kids struggled to read.
They're not at the reading level they should be, and it all goes back to being housing insecure.
Correct, because the reading, their foundation is in the kindergarten and pre-K era, and because I didn't have the time or I didn't have the energy to sit and read with them as I should because I was focusing on providing, that lack was there for them.
Parents do the best they can with what they have.
Charity Trowbridge, Director of Attendance Improvement for Fulton County Schools.
When students miss school, they're not just missing the academic work, right? Because it's the cumulative effect that becomes more significant.
And sometimes it goes unnoticed until it's too late.
Yes. And then we have major gaps.
Once the district saw some of its highest numbers of kids chronically missing class,
That was our indicator of, okay, this is an absenteeism issue that we really need to dig further into to understand so that we can better address it.
her office began individualized student plans with wraparound services like housing resources to tutoring. They focus on kids showing some issues with attendance
Doing locate, assess, connect.
long before the problems become excessive. In the last 3 years, Fulton's chronically absent rate dropped from 37.9% to 22%. For families like Jasmine's, attendance improved when housing did too.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful for groups like Frontline Housing.
We do a lot of outreach, so we'll print out flyers and go hand them out at hotels.
I'll go ahead and send that.
Program Director Sierra Showers and Director Mary Grace King
So this is the children's room.
helped Jasmine move into this Marietta apartment, all made possible through their grant-funded Motel to Home initiative.
Housing, it is a basic need. It's just as important as eating. Just to see how much families really can grow and change if you give them the resources and are willing to work with them, it's just really heartwarming.
Communities and Schools says the earlier absenteeism is addressed, the better the outcomes for students.
It says community organizations can be part of the solution by providing in-school services, programs, and mentorships. Businesses can also help by providing flexible work schedules for parents. Also, schools can destigmatize absenteeism by shifting the mindset from punishment to intervention.
Still ahead, an unexpected diagnosis nearly crushed her spirit.
It just seemed like all of these worries and things to do were clouding my mind for sure.
But song provided her with the inspiration to keep fighting. We examine the benefits of music therapy and how it plays a role in healing.
But first, expectant mothers living with HIV have a high chance of transmitting the deadly virus to their unborn baby. We examine how early intervention during pregnancy reduces the risk and show you a program that's saving lives. In June 1981, the first case of what would later become known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, was reported in the U.S. AIDS develops as a result of catching the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV.
HIV is spread through sexual contact using shared needles or contact with infected blood. The CDC says the highest rates of new HIV diagnoses continue to occur in the southern United States. For example, Louisiana ranks 4th in the nation with more than 23,000 people living with the disease. And while they only make up 33% of the state's population, Black women account for 78% of new female HIV diagnoses.
In an effort to stop the spread of the virus, a program in Baton Rouge is making sure moms don't pass HIV to their newborns. So when did you find out you were HIV positive?
March 26, 2006.
What was going through your head?
I was so young.
Nearly 19 years later, a diagnosis of HIV is still hard to talk about.
I was ready to die at that moment.
But two strong, healthy daughters now keep this mom, who wants to remain anonymous, hopeful for the future. That hope possible because of a program designed to keep mothers from passing the deadly virus to their newborns. Operating out of Woman's Hospital in Baton Rouge, it's called the Comprehensive HIV and AIDS Management Program, or CHAMPS.
So we follow patients from the time they find out they're pregnant until 1 year after birth.
Dr. John Morgan is a fetal maternal medicine specialist at Woman's.
We know that moms that are pregnant with HIV that go untreated have a very high risk of transmitting the virus to their child.
According to Dr. Morgan, there's about a 25% chance a mother will transmit HIV during pregnancy. However, in the program,
we know that with optimal pregnancy care and taking their antiretroviral therapy, we can reduce this risk to less than 1%.
Since 2002, more than 750 pregnant women have participated in CHAMPS, with only one transmission of HIV from mom to baby in 2005. The goal is to reduce the mother's viral load to an undetectable level using antiretroviral therapies. But following the prescribed regimen takes commitment. That's where Family Service of Greater Baton Rouge comes in.
I explain to them that I'm here if they need to call me just to talk or do anything.
Tanya Robbins is a nurse and program coordinator who helps to keep expectant moms on track.
I meet them at their first doctor's appointment just so they are comfortable, if they make sure they understand what the doctor is saying. If they have already told me something that they are worried about, I'll mention it to them so they can mention it to the doctor.
Do you find a lot of people don't have a lot of family support?
No, they don't, or they haven't disclosed their status. So if they don't disclose their status and no one knows their status, they don't have anybody.
So we usually see about 6 patients each day.
Family Service Executive Director Renee Taylor says even with the region's high HIV rates, she's seeing improvement through a community effort to bring awareness and change.
We work in collaboration with other agencies and organizations because there's not one organization that can resolve this issue alone.
An ongoing battle to save lives, from moms to vulnerable little babies.
I always tell them, who's going to take care of your child if you're not here? No one's going to take care of your child like you do. So you need to be here to take care of your child.
My counselor, she calls me every week, if not 2 to 3 times a week.
Valuable advice this mom has taken to heart, continuing to lean on Family Service and her faith to move forward.
When you talk to God, what do you ask for?
Strength, guidance, knowledge.
Knowledge she hopes to share with others one day who may find themselves on the same dark path, to let them know there's help and a light ahead.
If you could look into the future, maybe 10, 20 years from now, what do you see your life being like?
Happy.
While moms are a part of CHAMPS at Woman's Hospital, they can receive transportation to their appointments, food and baby supplies in addition to their medications.
Still to come, she survived a dark period of history.
I was skin and bone. We had no food, no food. My brother and I would run in the fields at night and steal potatoes.
But she found light decades later on the dance floor.
Everybody smile, you're having a good time.
We show how she now inspires others.
But first, the diagnosis of a rare form of cancer shifted a young woman's upbeat life into a somber key. We explore how music therapy provided her with healing and harmony. Music is more than just notes and chords. It actually has the ability to make you feel better.
A study by the American College of Surgeons found patients who listened to music after surgery saw a significant reduction in pain. They tended to use less morphine or opioids during the healing process, and they experienced a reduced heart rate, which improves recovery. When Lillian Connect was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, music changed her life forever.
Photojournalist Greg Simpson shows us how music helped her and sent her on a career path she didn't expect.
I was in my senior year of high school when I was on a beach family vacation in Florida. I thought I had a knee injury running in the sand, and for a while we thought it could have been something meniscus related, but I had no idea. But we finally got an image of it, and it was revealed to be a tumor. So I was referred to Dr. Niesel.
Osteosarcoma is in the family of sarcomas, which are rare just to begin with. There's about 1,000 cases a year in the United States.
My treatment was 9 months long in total, and it involved chemotherapy and a reconstructive surgery. It was definitely hard times. He talked to me about some options that I could do for my leg, and one of them was reconstructive surgery.
I did her surgery, and subsequent to healing after her surgery, she had to have further chemotherapy
It was about 8 to 9 hours long. It was really, really long and intensive. I remember waking up in a full leg cast at that point. I couldn't move it. I had to learn to walk again, and it just seemed like all of these worries and things to do were clouding my mind for sure.
So as I'm talking with Lily around the time of her surgery, as a teenager, I said, "Oh, what are you afraid of?" And she tells me, "I'm not gonna be able to walk. I don't know if I'm gonna keep my leg. What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she tells me, she says, "Well, I like music. I think I might want to be a music therapist." And so of course the light bulb goes off for me, because I had done the same surgery on the same leg for the same diagnosis on Mason many years before. And Mason had actually recovered well, had gone to college at Queens, had become a music therapist, and actually came to work at Atrium.
Whenever I met Mason, I was actually in the hospital recovering with my leg, and he knocked on the door, and I was having a really rough day. I didn't really want to talk to many people, and I was laying down, and I heard him knock. He said, "It's Mason, I'm here with music therapy."
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. He brought his guitar in and was talking to me and played a little bit of music, and he even showed me his leg scar, and it was really interesting to see and inspiring, especially just knowing that that could be me one day, and that was going to be me. I just knew moving forward that's what I needed to do and what I was called to do. Music and music therapy felt like home to me, and was something that I held on to so much whenever I was there in the hospital. And just surround yourself with that. And there's going to be people there and therapies there that could help you, and just don't be afraid to tap into those therapies and try things out that might be new. Could have been worse for sure. It's still scary, looking at those odds. It's never fully 100%. Cancer can happen at any point in time, and it can also come back at any point in time. So knowing that definitely is scary, but just my faith in God and my family's faith in God has definitely helped me be confident in my odds, and just knowing no matter what happens, it'll be okay.
Music gave her a reason to dance.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
After overcoming a childhood tragedy. Up next, we show you how a woman's positive spirit inspires others to feel joy. In the spring of 1940, Marianne Lagori went on a family trip that would forever change her life.
Yeah, the trip to Norway during World War II turned into a nearly 4-year fight for survival. Reporter Joe Carroll shows us how Marianne found hope on the dance floor.
At the Maples, a senior housing facility in Rutland,
music on?
Bob Williams and Marianne Lagori are burning up the dance floor. They've been dance partners for 20 years.
We have a good time together. I love to dance, he loves to dance, and that's it.
The music actually continues just right around the corner, where Marianne teaches the seniors here at the Maples.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Marianne is kind of the head cheerleader.
Pretend you're walking. Move your foot to the right.
Today it's chair dancing for those who have trouble standing.
Everybody smile, you're having a good time.
Marianne is rarely without a smile.
Hands up.
Unlike when she was a young girl.
Do most of the residents here know your story?
No.
They're going to be a little surprised.
I guess so.
When Marianne was 5 years old, her mom brought her and her brother on what was to be an adventure.
This is when we left America to go to Norway.
To visit family.
While we were there, the Second World War broke out, and we couldn't come back to America.
Norway declared itself neutral, but in the spring of 1940, the Germans marched into the Nordic country.
One day, Adolf Hitler was coming through town, so They lined us up around the street. We had to Heil Hitler. His car passed us, so I saw him through a car window. You were always afraid. The Nazis would just walk into our house anytime they wanted and take whatever they wanted.
It was a matter of survival.
And I was skin and bone. We had no food, no food. My brother and I would run in the fields at night and steal potatoes.
And on constant guard.
And one day, my friend and I were playing on her front porch, and some of the soldiers came over and started taking pictures of us, and it was unpleasant.
In the summer of '42, there was hope. A program was established where German prisoners of war were exchanged with American citizens that were stuck in Europe.
We went by train through Norway, Sweden, Germany, France, Spain, and Portugal.
Marianne, now 9, boarded a freedom ship with her family back to America. They landed in New York on the 4th of July when family told them bad news.
And they told us that my father had died.
He was murdered.
Yeah.
She knows little about what happened, except her architect dad was killed outside a bar. The crime was never solved.
What do you think when you see that photograph?
It makes me sad because I never saw my dad again.
The Norwegian community in the States helped the family out.
Yeah, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Marianne did move on with her life, marrying Mario and raising 3 kids in Long Island. Dancing with a passion started at 40.
Dancing has kept me alive.
And in motion.
I love life. I really do.
Well, doing the math, she was over there for 4 years, made it out, and, has a great life.
Mm-hmm. And to hear these stories, it's so important, just her documenting history in that way. She is definitely a survivor.
She is a survivor, yes. That's it for us here on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm T. Chappelle. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, protecting car owners from counterfeit auto parts.
They're substandard, they don't meet the health and safety regulations and specifications we require.
We'll show you how federal agents have seized a record number of fake car parts and the steps you can take to avoid a potentially dangerous product from ending up in your vehicle.